Ever since I saw A Quiet Place 2, I've contemplated filming this very video. I just want to share with you guys this crazy idea that has been on my mind lately. This is my pitch for A Quiet Place 2. So we open up on the Abbott family and they're trying to move away from their old home. Similar to the first movie, they are walking in a single file line and the only person missing is their dad. They're pretty sad. Off to a distance, they see one of the monsters. But the funny thing is, the monster isn't being rabid. It's literally just like taking a stroll. Instinctively, they decide to run because that's what you do when you see a Quiet Place monster, right? You freaking run for your life. As they're running, they see this big lighthouse, and as they're just about to head in, we see the monster literally stop right in front of them and like growls in their faces, and they're like, oh shit, this is it, we're about to die. Just as they're waiting for this monster to ravage them, the mom looks up and she sees a woman basically riding this alien like a freaking cowboy badass bitch. The woman tames the alien, and before we know it, this alien has become calmer. And for the first time ever, we see this monster, this alien killing machine, as something less than deadly and something even pet-like. Just when they're beginning to think they're safe, they look off to the corner of their eye and they see another alien running by. And we know that this alien is out for blood. When the strange woman sees this other monster that is gunning towards them, she directs her alien to go right towards it. And as soon as they come to like a close, her monster like growls at the other one, and they have this whole like power struggle of them like growling, and then we start to understand that they're actually communicating with each other. The tamed monster is trying to convince this rabid one that these people are the good guys and they should be spared. After a lot of back and forth growling, the other alien finally calms down. And then we cut to a scene of the strange woman riding her alien and the Abbott family riding the other alien, and they're just, riding majestically and quietly down some plains. That is until they arrive at this magnificently large spaceship. At first we think it's an alien spaceship, but then you go closer and you see that it's actually like human made, and like humans are all around it. Right outside of it, we see like farms and like plants that are growing, and then we see little children playing in the playground. It seems like a very safe place. And then off to the side, like in the back, we have like a whole ranch full of these freaking aliens, okay? This space deadly aliens. And at first, the family is like scared. They're like, oh my god, like what the hell is going on here? Let's give the strange woman a name. What should we call this woman? Cynthia? What? We're gonna call this strange woman Cynthia. So Cynthia basically explains to them that, hey, these creatures have been trained and know not to attack humans, and that they have a different enemy that they're fighting. As Cynthia starts giving them a tour of the spaceship, we see that it's almost like an ark. If you remember the story of Noah in the Bible, how, the ark was meant to be like a sanctuary for all creatures, so as to preserve all kinds of life forms. So they have like chickens, they have ducks, they have lions, they have all kinds of animals, because they're trying to protect that and have them mate at some point when these creatures are not a threat. Oh my god, I just spit. I mean, this ark is bougie. They have warm water, they have gourmet meals, they have like places where they exercise, they have gyms. They're basically living the life around these parts, okay? But as we all know, it's always a matter of time until something goes terribly wrong. So Cynthia goes on explaining that NASA had wanted to explore this new planet that they hadn't really heard about. And this planet was known for not having any ways of transferring sound waves. So basically everything on this planet is dead quiet. If you dropped a pin, no one would hear. If you shouted at the top of your lungs, there was no way of sound transferring towards the atmosphere. So this atmosphere was inhabited by these aliens that came to Earth, right? And the main reason why these aliens are so sensitive to sound is because they don't have any sound on their Earth, and the only way for them to communicate is via vibrations from the Earth. Which basically tells us that we got everything wrong in the beginning, and sound isn't really the trigger. It's all about vibrations, okay? Like these things, they're so sensitive to like any kinds of movement, which is why they would strike at anything that is louder than just a simple vibration. And that's why they're killing everything that is in their way. Cynthia also tells them that they have a new threat, a common enemy with these creatures. Their new enemy is an alien species that can take human form, but when provoked, it has the ability to morph into a beast. And these creatures are the main reason why these aliens are even on Earth in the first place, because they had tried to invade their planet, and because they failed, most of them ended up falling to Earth. And this is what makes these new creatures even more dangerous than the other creatures. These creatures have the ability to mind control humans into killing each other, okay? They can cause you to turn around and murder your sister. They use very particular sound waves to mind control their enemies into killing each other, which is why Cynthia and her astronaut team decided to call these new creatures sirens. We finally come to the realization that these old aliens are not deadly just by choice, you know, they just fell to Earth. They became so overstimulated by Earth and the sounds that we make that their first instinct, of course, is just to squash anything that made sound. I have this very vivid image in my head of Reagan kind of like petting one of the aliens, and she looks so small beneath it, and this wild beast basically just like melts underneath her touch. I think that would be an epic image for the poster. Cynthia guides them into a room where they have one of the sirens, and before they enter the room they all have to wear headphones, but because Reagan is deaf, she does not need one. Because she is unable to hear the siren's sound waves, she is basically immune to any of their powers, and they see this as like an epic strength, okay? They think this girl is gonna take them to the end. They think this girl is going to be their savior. And so for the first time in months, this family has a good night's sleep. They feel safe within the walls of this ark, and they have a warm shower, they have warm food to eat, they have a comfortable bed to sleep in. We feel for them, you know, we feel for them. After the first movie, we're like, holy crap, they deserve this. In the morning, they wake up and Cynthia introduces them to a new group of people who have been rescued. These people were wandering around just like them, and you know, they found them and brought them to the ark. Amongst this group of new people is this one girl. We're gonna call this girl Catherine, okay? Catherine is mute, she cannot speak. And also, she cannot seem to understand anything anyone is saying to her. And so naturally, Reagan is drawn to her because she feels like she can understand her plight. And so Reagan starts, you know, teaching her the ways of the ark. They start becoming BFFs. Even her little brother starts developing a little crush on her. Emily Blunt's character just basically kind of like adopts her as like her own. Kat is just considered to be this harmless little bird who everyone just like feels sorry for. So throughout the movie, we see Reagan basically being like the person everyone's betting on to take them to the end. She's training alongside other teenagers to be, you know, one of the soldiers who are gonna take down the sirens. Emily Blunt's character starts to realize something. Every time Kat will walk by one of the aliens, they have this little growl in their eye. They seem like they're about to growl at her, but then when she would look at them, they'll just like calm down and stop. She starts trying to convince everyone else on the ship, including Reagan and Cynthia and her son, that there's probably something wrong with Kat, but everyone is just like, what? Kat is harmless. Like, she's an orphan. She knows nothing. Like, she could never hurt anyone. That is until we go into the final battle of the movie. Reagan has been training her ass off for about 6 months, and she's ready to take on these mind-controlling monsters who are trying to take down Earth. And during the last battle, as they're all fighting these creatures, Reagan is of course the last one standing who hasn't been mind-controlled, and she basically has to save the day. And as she's going to do so, our little old cat comes up behind her. As Reagan is about to fight her people, she goes and stands right in the middle between both of them. And now we're thinking, has she actually changed sides and now thinks humans are worth saving? Is she still fighting for her people? Is she still loyal to them? And the third option is she gonna try to unite these people and see if, you know, they could coexist on Earth and maybe even help them build a spaceship to take them back to their planet? And also, is the third movie going to be about these three creatures, humans, the first aliens, and the sirens, all trying to coexist in one world and try to rebuild the Earth back to what it was, and even to a point where it's even a better place for all? I don't know. All I'm saying is the possibilities of where this could go are endless. Let me know in the comments below how you would want this to end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Filming this was a labor of love, but I'm glad I got to get this on tape. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.